You have asked why such a massive and peculiar looking brake on a Buell that no other manufacturer has. Let me tell you why. But before we get into that, we'll delve a little bit deeper into the trilogy of tech, as Eric called it, that made up the design of all his motorcycles. 1, low unsprung weight. 2, centralization of mass. And 3, extremely robust and stiff aluminum perimeter frame. Those things combined for the best handling superbike ever to roll off a production line. Back to the brake. Why such a massive stainless steel brake with an 8-piston caliper? Why not put 2 like most companies do? Well, for a lot of reasons. 1, you can save about 7 pounds because when you run this perimeter disc here, there's no stress on the hub. It's all on the rim. So you can run this really, really lightweight, super wafer thin rim spokes on here and still get the same braking or better than a dual disc setup, but 7 pounds less of unsprung weight, and that is massive. Also, the brake is cooled by this twin ram air carbon fiber air duct. Compare the size of the spokes, they're massive, with a hub mounted brake. You can see how the weight can be reduced dramatically. This 1190 RS is a 1 of 100 made special edition. This does have magnesium wheels, which are extremely light. This brand new, born September of 2024, 1190 RS has a similar looking wheel. This one's made out of aluminum. It's heavier than magnesium, but much less expensive, and you can still lose close to that 7 pounds of unsprung weight using a less expensive material. One of the many features that are patented by Eric Buell, he has over 60 patents. His dad was a patent attorney. It understands the importance of making it so other people don't steal your designs. Trust me, they will. And that's why the other manufacturers don't use it. They can't, it's patented. And also, the brake manufacturers that sell the components like Brembo would much rather sell 2 discs and 2 calipers than 1 because it's twice as much money for them. So they're not developing a system like that, even if they could. This is a beautiful bike. Look at this thing. This is the Patriot Missile 2024 1190 Hammerhead. An 85 horsepower rocket ship. One thing you may not have noticed is this gas tank right here is not really a gas tank. That's a giant, massive airbox. The fuel tank is actually inside the backbone of the massive aluminum frame. Why would you do that? Well, when Eric was racing his TZ750, when he came in to gas up at Daytona, when he went through the next turn with 40 pounds of gas in it, mounted up high like it is on a TZ750, it really occurred to him in that moment as a pro racer, wow, huge difference with a full tank versus an empty tank. So how can I come up with a way to have a more stiff frame and get the fuel lower inside or closer to the center of gravity? So he accomplished 2 things. He got a massive backbone, super stiff frame, and he also lowered the center of gravity, and he also created a performance enhancement by having this massive airbox on the top here, which has 2 ram airs. You can't tune a Buell air-fuel mixture on a dyno as well as some other bikes because this whole system is set up. You can't run them too lean because if you tune it to the dyno, it will be too lean because it has a ram air system, which at 180 miles an hour forces air directly into the intake. It's a straight downdraft intake underneath this airbox right here, or airbox cover. Eric had consulted with some of the Cosworth engineers, and they had a 2-liter 2000cc engine that was putting out 300 horsepower, and they said, we want to use your bore and stroke, your technology. How can we make a 1000cc motorcycle engine at 150 horsepower? And they said the airbox, you got to have a massive airbox so you can have a huge airflow. So that was why he designed the frame, the airbox, and the brakes the way they are. So nothing is by chance. In a Buell, form follows function, whereas like in a Harley-Davidson Cruiser, they just want it to look cool, but it has nothing to do with making the bike perform well. And these are first and foremost, make no mistake, these bikes were designed specifically for racing and then tuned and set up with lights and all the accessories you need to make it street legal. So these bikes can go directly to the banks of Daytona with these Pirelli Diablo Rosso 4 tires and hit the bank in the straightaway at 183 miles an hour. It's ready to go right out of the box. Take your turn signals off and your mirrors and go. This 2024 Buell 1190 has the same Rotax engineered and designed